Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Voices of Russ Ballard with myself, Ian.
And me, Sven. Hello.
Sven, it's a different time of day for us today. It's an afternoon recording for those of you that are the slightest bit interested in exactly when these things are recorded. But yes, so I hope we haven't pulled you out of your work too early, Mr. Sven.
No. It's all good, all good. I look forward to today's podcast. And it's lovely. Normally, we record this in the mornings. Most of the time, it's a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So this time of the day is it's cool, isn't it?
It's good stuff. So we're following on from, we've had a bit of a zombie theme with Chris White, with a fantastic couple of podcasts. And already we know before we even start that this is going to be in two parts. But I'm not going to mention who the guest is just yet. But I think perhaps we probably should introduce him and stop talking. I know that this is any admin that you want to mention about the group, Sven, or the podcast itself. Don't think so, is there?
Well, it's good to be back on the airwaves, I would say. It was fantastic coming back with Chris White, part 1 and part 2. We got tons of compliments that the podcast was brilliant, and indeed, you and me, we said it was the best we produced so far. So we are getting better and better. It's great to hear feedback. So people out there, wherever you are, in the United Kingdom, in the States, in Singapore, in Germany, wherever you are,
China,
nice comments.
I like the Chinese people. We've got Chinese people. We've got the Philippines. We've got Brazil.
All over the world. All over the world, people are listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast. So I would say we try to keep up the good work, and I heard we have a very spectacular guest today.
We do.
Somebody who can tell us tons of stories we have never ever heard before. So as always, Ian, I bet you prepared something for us, a really cool story. So where's the beep fucking play button on this Ian man? Okay, just found it.
Well, hello again, everybody. Our guest today is one of the great UK drummers. He's more than established in his own right, although he just happens to be the son of one of our best loved and talented bass players, Mr. Jim Rodford. So I don't have to say, what's your name? Or even, who's your daddy? Because we know who it is, don't we? So, moving on, let's go chasing the past now. Everyone, breathe out and breathe in, and welcome Steve Rodford, ladies and gentlemen. Steve, welcome.
Hello there. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah,
excellent. Nice introduction. I love that.
Yeah, they get cheesier as time goes on, Steve. So I make no apologies. Apologies for that too.
Excellent.
Well, just starting at the beginning, I think when we asked Steve to come on the show, the main focus, not the main focus, but a big focus of the show was going to be, or will be, a tribute to Steve's father, Jim Rodford, and also to talk about the new book, which is called Jim Rodford Sidemen, The Jim Rodford Story, available on Amazon and probably all good bookstores, and probably some bad ones as well. But we thought, look, we're going to, so a little later in part 2, we're going to be talking specifically about the musical career and the life of Jim, and also talking about the book and asking Steve about that. But we thought, we've got Steve Rodford, so we'd love to talk about Steve first, wouldn't we, Sven? What do you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, you just mentioned the book title, The Sideman. For today's podcast, Jim might be the side man. Next time he will be the main man. But today, the main man is Steve Rodford, and we are so happy to have you on board. Steve, I'm so looking forward to all these fantastic stories you might share with us.
And we're actually really interested in finding out about you growing up. So to start off with you, Steve, because growing up in such a musical family, I think it's fair to say you grew up in a musical family, didn't you?
Just a touch, yes. To the point of it, I mean, it was how ridiculously lucky, really. I mean, I saw Argent rehearse. I think I was about 9 years old. I think my mum was working and Dad took us to rehearsals, and I just watched Argent rehearse, and that was the first time I saw Bob play. And I just knew I wanted to be a drummer from that point, and I just fell in love with the whole rock and roll thing. And
really?
It was an incredible band, yeah.
Wow.
So I kind of knew at 9 something. I just thought, that's incredible. I've got to somehow get involved in this. And from then on, and then Dad bought me a kit. I think when I was 11 for Christmas. It was a surprise. It was like a vision from God. I remember it. And he showed me my first beat, and then off I went. Fantastic. But totally inspired. Yeah, I was so lucky.
So sorry, please. No, I was just going to say you said something there. That Bob Henry was responsible for starting you off in music, effectively.
Oh, completely.
Or the drums specifically, yeah.
Oh yeah, completely. It was just something about it. I mean, the whole band was just amazing, but just the drums, because Bob was such a visual player as well, and I just, from that moment on, I just wanted to be him, and I just copied everything he did, even to the extent of turning the sticks around the wrong way like he did, and just, I just copied everything he did.
Wonderful.
It's so interesting to see that you said, okay, Bob is responsible for me being a drummer. Everybody would expect that you also would pick up the bass first. But the cool thing is, you're a drummer. Your dad was the side man, the bass player. So you were a good rhythm department, the best rhythm department.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just the best education really for a drummer is a wonderful bass player father like that. And of course, once I got a little bit better, once I'd learned a few things, he'd take me along to gigs sometimes, and some of the band leaders would say, come on, you get up, Steve. So at say 13, 14, I'd be sitting in with these older musicians, and just what an education that is, and even playing with my dad as well then, but my mum tells a story that, because when you're young, you think everybody's dad does what your dad does. And at nursery school, my mum said that she came to pick me up once, and I had all the kids on the stairs because we were going to the band. We were going on the gig, in the band van. Yeah. So that's a bit of a side issue there, but I just grew up all around it. I was so lucky.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you've got a brother, Russell. Sorry. I'll let you carry on. Sorry, you were still. No. Well, I was just going to mention, because the first question was about your musical family. To be more specific with that, you've got Russell Rodford, who's a musician, and a sister Paula. Is she a musician as well?
She doesn't play. No, she's had. I think she used to play bugle, and she's mucked about on guitar. But it's really me and my brother. Yeah. And then I've got 2 daughters, well, 3 daughters actually, but 2 of them are really good singers, and they've got a band with my brother as well. They're called Arc. Right. So the music's come through them, but the rock and roll playing is me and my brother. But he's a lot younger than me. He wasn't born until I was 17.
Right.
So, but a lot years and years later, Dad put the Rodford Files together. That was the family band, and it was really just an excuse to play with me and Russ. And obviously, we all played together. Dad on bass, me on drums, and my brother Russ on guitar. And it was a great little band, actually.
Tremendous.
So that went on for years.
Well, that was kind of a good bridge. So you were all together, and I mean, all together now.
Very
together
good.
Now. Oh yes, of course.
He's just gone and done it. Look, Sven, he's pleased with himself. He's very good.
Is that another link?
Tell us a little bit about the album cover.
I remember that day. Yeah, it was just you know what it's like, photo shoots. It was amazing. Yeah, I think I was about 11, and We were there for hours, it felt, and me and my sister and my mum were stood at the back there. And just that particular picture, I did this stupid face that I used to do with my friends at school, and that was the one they used. So every time I look at that cover, I'm like, "You idiot! Why did you do that face?" So, but yeah, I remember it well, and it's great because Dad's right at the front, isn't he, on that cover?
Yeah, absolutely.
Drum and swing, you won't believe it this time. See him doing his thing, you couldn't beat it, oh no. See him ride, see him roll, from his heart and his soul. Oh, from his head to toe, is a dynamo. He could tame an alligator, baby, cut him through. And his bird started to play, how did you walk away? You just got it through. That smoke rising high from his wings, it's hard to take it from low. That this cat really swings and he don't fake it, oh no. See him ride, see him roll, from his heart to his soul.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's almost a Sergeant Pepper kind of cover, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah, yeah.
And quite unique, even though I know the Beatles did it in '66 or whenever Sergeant Pepper was, but it's still very unique, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yeah, and of course it was a hit album. So over the years with the Zombies, I've had people coming up to me. I've had to sign it as well because I'm on the cover, doing that stupid face.
There might be one of us in this conversation who actually has a copy of that album with your signature on it. And
is it you? You're one of them. And I think we were in America and my mum actually signed. I said, that is so rare. I think a fan came up and I said, you know what? That's my mum. And she's on the cover as well. So she signed it as well. And I said, there's only about 3 or 4 of those in the world. So that's rare.
How lovely.
Wow.
That's,
So, yeah,
how
so
lovely. That's
yeah,
brilliant.
it's just been amazing being around those guys all these years. I mean, growing up with Argent, my dad in Argent, I mean, I can't tell you, just looking back, how amazing that was, really.
Yeah.
And what an influence it
How-
was, you know. It's
How was
incredible.
it? How was it for you as a young boy? I mean, all your schoolmates, their parents might have had regular jobs, boring jobs,
Yeah.
and you were the son of a rock star.
I
How
know.
was this? I mean, it was spectacular and very, very
Yeah.
interesting.
I think when I was quite young, I don't think the kids at school really understood, you know, they weren't really into the music. And it was really when I got to secondary school that people started to take note. And then I think I was about 11 when Arjun had Hold Your Head Up was big, 73, 74, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
I would have been about 11. So suddenly, my God, my dad's on top of the pops. So that I remember some of the school teachers were a bit weird with me. You know, they just were a bit funny with me, obviously jealous, I think.
Really?
I don't know. There was just, I remember one, I shouldn't say any names, but
No.
there was a couple that were just a bit weird about it. They didn't really want to talk about it.
I
But didn't make
suppose
a big-
parents' evening would have been interesting, wouldn't it? I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
so Steve. So Steve's over here, and Jim Jim and Jean walk in and start having
Yeah.
a conversation. How lovely.
Dad's got hair down here.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a beard, and he used to wear platform shoes as well on stage. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think really. Yeah, I didn't make a big deal out of it. I mean, my sister as well. She didn't broadcast the fact, you know. But I mean, I was so proud of him. Obviously, you know.
Yes, of course.
But that was probably the most famous day Argent were, and then it wasn't till the Kinks days that they were really big, weren't they?
That's right. Yes.
So that was a different matter, you know, and then going to see them play, and I was getting older. Again, incredible, you know.
Yeah, I mean, talk us through how. Just going back to you for a moment, talk us through how you broke through to being a professional musician after all these influences, because obviously you've had the influences. You know, you've had Bob, you've had you know, a great mentor in the form of your dad.
Yeah.
But in terms of like making, then it's all very well being influenced as an 11-year-old, and then you know, perhaps older than that, starting to play drums, but breaking through to be a professional musician in that particular area. Tell us about the transition from sort of, you know, I don't know, teenager to becoming, you know, when did you sort of realize, one, that you wanted to be a professional musician, and two, the opportunity that came to enable you to grasp it, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of came up live playing. I mean, I did start off live playing. As I say, when I was about 14, I was already playing in bands, doing social clubs with older guys, you know, nothing professional, but I was getting a lot of experience. And then into my early 20s, it kind of went a different way. And I'd met a guy called John Willoughby, who was a great songwriter, and I was more into production. And we made a record. We got a record deal in about 1983. We're called Rio, and we got signed by Elektra and Music for Nations. And I was playing drums, bass, keyboards, because I've always played. Dad always had all these instruments at home, so even though drums was my main instrument, I kind of always played guitar, keyboards. You know, came up. I spent my summer holidays making demos. You know, because that's what I love to do, get my friends around. So that kind of took me off on a different tack for a few years, and I wasn't really playing live. And then I had a daughter. And I still remember I was working for an exhibition company, because when my daughter was born, I wasn't professional. The record deal came to an end, and I think we just bought a car, and I was up a ladder, and I suddenly thought, what am I doing with my life? I've got to buy a drum kit. And I came back and told my wife at the time, and she said, "Okay, we'll sell the car." We bought a banger, and I bought a drum kit, and then that's how I got back into playing, because I just knew, what am I doing? I should be a drummer. And then. But actually, going back from that, before we got the record deal, I was playing with John Verity's band. So this was after Argent had split. This must have been early 80s again, actually.
The early 80s.
Would that be Interrupted Journey? Was that the Interrupted Journey?
Yes, that's right. that was. I think that was probably the first album I did, or maybe I did tracks before. I did lots of stuff with John on and off. And again, the parallel career. I nearly went into like wanting to work in studios full time, and I used to go and help John at Livingston and be a tape up for him sometimes. He was great to me, John. Actually, he was like a mentor. So it was kind of a joint. You know, I just loved it. I loved the studio. I loved playing. I love writing. I love production. You know, I still do all that really.
Well, if that was your first recording, Steve, you know, at the end of the day, knowing JV as I do, John Verity that we're talking about here, he has extremely high standards of musicianship, and he wouldn't be hiring a drummer to play on his album if he didn't think that drummer was second to none.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
and I did. So, you know, talking about me becoming pro. I mean, during the GB Blues Company years, Bob would often, he would put me in as a dep if he couldn't do the gig. I mean, I think I was about 16 or something actually. I'm jumping about here, sorry.
That's all right.
And Bob would say, I can't do the gig, can you do it for me? And I'd say, okay. And I remember doing a radio broadcast with the GB. I was completely out of my depth. I mean, it's the quickest way you learn, isn't it? And there's a horn section, and I've got this great band, and I got through it somehow. So it's just that I've learned that way, you know, playing with really good players is the best way to learn, isn't it? And I suppose that was the great thing about being my dad's son, is I got to personally know all these great players and got to play with them. You know, John V included, GB Blues Company.
It's so interesting to see for me on the Interrupted Journey album and on the '85 record, Truths of the Matter.
Oh, yeah, I'm on that as well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. On the backside of the cover, it says drums, Bob Henrid and Steve Rodford.
That's it. Yeah.
playing together with your hero, so with the man who influenced you that much. It's so crazy. So both of you playing on JV's records.
I know. Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Well,
Bob's probably, he was my biggest guru influence, I mean, I did discover John Bonham years later. That was when I was older, but it was Bob Henry. It was my first love.
Steve, I managed to, when we were researching for when we were going to speak with you today, I managed to find an interview with your father. Don't ask me when it was. It might even be in the book, but I haven't read the book because it's waiting for me in the UK.
Ian, when was it?
I don't know, but the interview. The interview. I've just got the sound bites, Sven. I can't tell you when it is. But this is Jim. I'm quoting directly from Jim. When Rod and I formed Argent in 1969, we go to rehearse at our local youth club.
That's it. Yeah.
Steve would often come along to watch some Transfixed by our drummer Bob Henry. And from the first moment that he heard us, he wanted to play drums. I told him to have piano lessons first, which he did. But my wife Jean remembers him saying, "You're wasting your money, Mum. I want to be a drummer."
That's true. I told my mum that. I think Dad was away, and I said, "Mum, you're wasting your money. I want to be a drummer."
Brilliant.
But she made me get my grade 1, and I'll tell you what, I'm really glad they made me do that, because it's really, it's like playing an instrument. It's about being musical, isn't it? And I because I play a bit of keyboards, I love playing bass. I know what they're doing. It makes me a better drummer because, it's made me a better drummer being able to play a bit of piano. Absolutely. Yeah, so they were right. I couldn't wait to give it up.
I think a little bit further on, I looked up your LinkedIn profile and just to see what you described yourself as. And Sven and I were talking about it the weekend, weren't we, Sven?
Yeah.
Saying, I didn't know Steve played all these other instruments as well. My God, So
right,
we did do that.
Okay, all right. I don't use LinkedIn really. That was years ago. I put that up.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. No, I sort of dabble in other instruments. I love to muck about with them, but it's drums is definitely my main thing, obviously. Yeah.
So who would have thought that all these years later, that having been on the front cover of All Together Now, where the biggest hit single was Hold Your Head Up, sung by a certain Mr. Ballard with a lovely guitar with holes cut out, which most of the listeners listening to this will know everything about, that you would actually end up a few years later playing that track live to lots of Argent fans, obviously with the Zombies, because obviously when the Zombies play that on stage, and it's funny because it seamlessly takes us in, really, because I remember seeing you on stage in the very early 2000s when Rod and Colin first got together, playing in places like Worcester Park, which I think has now been demolished.
Oh, it's a shame. I love that. Yeah,
that venue. I live around the corner, so it was fine for me. I was there, but gig. Yeah, and it was Colin Blunstone and Rod Argent then. It wasn't the Zombies.
That's right.
And I guess that was probably the start of everything starting to move forward for you in terms of the Zombies.
Definitely.
So that evolved. So what's your recollection of those times in terms of how that started? So you're asked to join, etc. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it was very organic how it started. I mean, it was Colin was out gigging. He'd started gigging again after a long time. Don Airy had rung him up and sort of coaxed him out of retirement. So Colin had been playing, but in the end, his band wasn't very stable, and I think he'd got 6 gigs left to do. And he just said, "Look, Rod, I'm sick of all these depths. Would you do 6 gigs with me?" Literally, this is how it happened. And Rod said, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll just do the 6 gigs." And then they were talking about bass players. Oh, this is Jim will do it. And at which point, I don't know whether Rod, whoever decided, it certainly wasn't my dad. That's what it was. Colin suggested me, because I'd played on his Greatest Hits remake album, again, like a session thing with Keith Airy and Bob Skeet, because we had a band called Third Stone. That's right. That's another band I was in. Really? So we played with Colin. So it was Colin, funnily enough, because obviously Rod had never heard me play at this point. Obviously Dad knew I could play, but he wouldn't sort of nepotism put me up, You know what I mean? Sort of, I'll get my son in, sort of thing. So it was really nice it came from Colin, and that was literally how it started. We just did 6 gigs, which turned out to be 20 years playing together. But it literally was that, wasn't it? As you say, it wasn't the Zombies then. There was no intention of them reforming the Zombies. That happened later.
No.
And it was really the promoters in America, because we kept going over there, and it was like a brand name that was easier for people to know who was playing, if you know what I mean. So it was very organic. And I still remember the first time we got together in Dad's front room. We always used to rehearse very low key, just like little drum kit, brushes, a cappella, Rod on a piano, and we just ran a few songs. And Rod thought,
Wow.
he can play. And then it went from there. I know, and it's unbelievable, isn't it? I still think it's like a dream come true. And for me, watching Argent as a kid with Dad and Rod in the band, it felt like I was kind of joining Argent, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jim Rodford, Rod Argent, we're playing Argent songs, we're playing Collins stuff. We played some of the old Zombies things, obviously, in the early days as well. It was just fantastic, honestly. And it was just, I can't believe that we ended up here I still am, you know. And also, of course...
Sorry.
No, go on, sorry. Dive in, yeah.
I was just going to say, for the Argent fans and for the Russ fans, in those early set lists was actually Liar.
That's right.
With Colin on lead vocals.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We used to do a lot more Argent. I wish we did more. Obviously, things have changed now. Yeah, we used to do Pleasure, Keep on Rolling, Rejoice, which still gives me goosebumps now.
Yeah.
Just tracks I grew up listening to, and it was just a magical thing to play them. Obviously just trying to play exactly what like Bob did, but kind of doing it my way. But yeah,
Brilliant.
magical times.
And you started to record when Colin and Rod got together. They recorded an album called Out of the Shadows, and we're going to play a track or two. Sven, I think we should play something on there. So that would have been the first recording that you did with Rod and Colin. Would that be right?
That's right. That was at Rod's studio.
Tell us a little bit about that. That's
okay. So my memory of that is, it's at Rod's studio when he lived at the Red House in Silso, and I think Rod had got some tracks because he had a production partnership with Pete Van Hook, and they'd got some tracks already started. So some of the tracks I kind of played along with stuff that was already down. It was kind of a bit of a hodgepodge the way it came together. A few things Rod had really written. And I think, actually, that's the first time Rod and Russ wrote a song together, ever, because they always wrote separately. I think I'm right in saying that.
You are.
Yeah, that's right, which was interesting. And I played drums on that, so that kind of felt full circle as well. And
that was a song called A Girl Like That.
A Girl Like That, that's right.
Yeah, which we played when Chris, it came up, didn't it, Sven, about when we were talking to Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, great.
Because we were asking why Rod and Russ didn't write together. And we were also talking about whether Russ wrote with Chris. So we were discussing all that.
Okay, right. Yeah. Fascinating. What three, amazing writers are they? It's incredible, isn't it?
Indeed. Indeed. And on that album is a track called Sanctuary. I think maybe we should play that now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Give it a go.
Though there are many roads to lead us through heaven and hell and in between, fate is the frame sometimes deceives us when it cruelly leads to broken hopes and dreams. Will you be my sanctuary? Comfort me when all the world's in vain. Shelter me, should I run for cover? Show me the sun when all I can feel is the rain. Sympathy, warmth, and understanding. With every breath of your love bequeathed, and I'll know I can get safe landing, even though the storm may rise from deep beneath. Will you be my sanctuary? Be for me when all the world's in vain. Let me know your true devotion. Open my eyes when I feel them closing with pain.
So yeah, Sanctuary was a track that was played. I think you used to play it live.
We did. That's
quite
right.
a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
I can't remember what songs we played off that album. Yeah, but you certainly played that one. I haven't got it in front of me. I don't know what's on there.
Do you have a? I was going to ask you if you had a favourite on there, but I can. It had Mystified on there, which was a big stage track as well.
Yeah.
Rod's Baby Don't You Cry No More, which was
that's a lovely track. Yeah,
it is a lovely track, isn't it? But Rod wrote for, I think, one of the ABBA girls.
Oh right, okay.
I think it was.
Oh, wait, you're not thinking
Frida.
of. Oh no, you're thinking of Russ Ballard. There's Something Going On. That was a Russ Ballard song.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that was, yes. But Baby didn't Rod write that? That was.
Oh, he might have done.
He
might have done.
We'll have to look that one up, Sven. We'll have to look.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think, Sven?
As you recorded that album, did you ever thought about what's happening here now? Did you ever spend one single second thinking about, oh my God, this could be the Zombies?
Not again. At all. No, it was back in the day. It was just Rod Argent and Colin Blunstone and their all-star band or whatever they used to put. Jim Rodford, and then there was Mark Johns and me. I was not really known then. So no, it was just a joy to be playing Argent, Colin, some Zombies stuff, and then whatever. I mean, I was just absolutely so happy to be in the band, obviously. And yeah, it was a real buzz to record with them, actually. Absolutely.
I mean, it's an amazing album, but unfortunately, completely underrated.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Overlooked. Yeah. I don't know why.
It was on the one hand, it was such a classic album. On the other hand, it was so modern enough for the time.
Yeah.
But you still, everybody should have seen this straight away or heard this straight away. Hey, it's Rod Argent and Colin Blunstone. The two work brilliantly together. And I mean, all the songs on that album, they really suit Colin's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I think that's classically Rod writing for Colin's voice in mind, which of course he always did with the Zombies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think he loves doing that. I think he writes with Colin in mind. It's a wonderful partnership, isn't it? It's perfect.
Absolutely.
Steve, somebody's just called me from Sweden. And just answered the question, and we're kind of both right, Steve, because "Baby Don't You Cry No More" was actually recorded by Frida, but it's on the album "Something's Going On."
Okay,
which was written by Russ. So,
yes.
So there you go, Mr. Argent and Mr. Ballard coming together to to write songs for one of them.
Interesting, yeah, and writing a song together for the first time as well around the same time. Amazing.
Baby, don't you cry no more, no more. Oh, baby, don't you cry no more. I've been a lot of trouble, but I won't no
Sven, do you want to ask about the next album that came out, which is As Far As I Can See, which I think, although it had the zombies, I think it was Colin Blunstone and Rod Argent as the zombies or something. It was moving towards that, that real, before we get to obviously the zombies as they were now. But there's some great tracks on that, Sven. That's a favourite of mine.
Yeah. Funny again, you know, I just asked with the first album, did you ever thought about, hey, this could be the zombies? And all of a sudden something developed there. And it was Colin Blunstone and Rod Argent as the zombies also. However it stands on the album cover. But all of a sudden the zombies were back. More or less, it was that was superb, you know, and it's great. Again, great tracks on the album.
I love that.
What's your favorite, Steve?
On that album, I need to look at them. I mean, I love Memphis. The track, As Far As I Can See, is magic. Absolutely beautiful. Isn't
that used to do that live. Steve, and that was magical to hear that. I
get goosebumps hearing it. I mean, you know, you don't hear an album for a few years.
If you're talking about goosebumps, I'm gonna have to butt in and say, I Want to Fly is absolutely out of this world. I think we should play that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, this is Steve Rodford from the Zombies, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast. Okay.
But
Anything
no,
from that
that's
album? Yeah.
but they used to do that on stage, and you could hear a pin drop. That was in Colin used to absolutely belt that out. It just sounded so fun. Well, I've got goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah,
It's an
me too.
amazing album. And track number 6, I Don't Believe in Miracles.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
well, I'd never heard of that one before, Sven.
Yeah.
Who wrote that?
Let me look this up. I think it was a certain Mr. B.
Yes, I think you're right.
Mr. B wrote it, and I heard this a couple of times. Many people are saying this might be the best song Russ ever wrote.
Wow. He used to do it. He used to sing it live, didn't he? He did it at High Voltage, didn't he? Did he do it on piano?
He did, yes.
I think he did. That's right. Yeah, beautiful. What
He
a
did.
song. What a writer.
Took it. Well, what Steve just said there for listeners thinking, what's High Voltage? It was a festival in Victoria Park where Argent reformed for the first time for 37 years. And
That's right.
some of us were fortunate to be there. And on that, seeing as you mentioned it, and this is how it's so wonderful to see how you're all pals all these years later. I happened to see you. Well, if it wasn't you, it was someone looked very much like you, actually helping Mr. Henriett set his drums up.
I was there as roadie that day. I was his helper. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Proud to do so. Yeah, I just helped him. Yeah.
How wonderful. See, what?
Yeah.
Well, that is
That's
just unbelievable. I was having, because I hadn't seen Russ on stage for a long time. And he was doing his, 1, 2, more sound on the monitor, more sound on the monitor. And he's sort of like, I'm thinking, it's Russ Ballard, and I'm trying to sort of, and obviously your dad was there, and you're warming up, the band were warming up their own kit, their own sort of instruments, etc. I think Focus had just left the stage. I think it was Focus.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
brilliant.
And
So
that
great to
was
see.
just, and somebody was standing, and just for your information, any other Argent people that are listening or were there, somebody standing behind me when they finished the set said, that is the best band that I've seen over the last 2 days at this festival by a mile. And I don't think they were particularly an Argent fan. They'd just gone, oh, Argent, yeah, I think they had a hit with Hold Your Head Up. And they went along and they said, that's the best band by a mile.
I think nobody expected anything from Argent back on stage. Okay, it's Argent playing again, but many people might not, have spent any minute thinking about these guys are so professional in what they do. I mean, Argent back on stage, they rehearsed properly. They just wanted to make sure, okay, we sound brilliant. What was it recorded, Ian?
Yes, it was.
As video.
Not on video. I've got some footage that I recorded, and I put the sound of the audio that was because I recorded Goodbye CD at the show afterwards in about an hour, and I bought a couple of copies in case one got nicked, and it's true actually, and I filmed Liar. And put because the sound on my thing was awful because it was early sort of days, but I've got a decent and actually put the audio to the picture. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, does it? But
I'd see that.
That's
back in the days you recorded with your Walkman plus external microphone.
Yes.
very, very, pretty much old school, but the CD, there is a CD available from that Argent gig.
Yeah.
So it was amazingly available. What did you say? An hour after the show, wasn't it, or something?
Something like that. Yes, it was.
I remember. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
guitar. Man, you gotta sweat or you won't get far. 'Cause it's never too late to work 9 to 5. And if you're young, then you'll never be old. Music can make your dreams unfold. How good it feels to be alive. Oh, God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you, put it in the soul of everyone. God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you, say rock and roll for everyone. God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you, put it in the soul of everyone. God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you, say rock and roll for everyone.
Yeah.
I went to see Asia as well. I think Asia we went both days actually, and
Right.
yeah, and saw Asia. Bought a CD of their performance as well, which was
Mhm.
really good. Steve, we couldn't
Memorable.
have you on the show, but not talk to you about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we've all watched the videos and seen everything, and obviously we watched them again recently because we spoke to Chris White.
Mm.
But we'd like to hear your side of things from that day, because there you are next to Hugh Grundy, and that must have been for you a pinch yourself moment, thinking,
Oh yeah,
oh my God.
yeah.
So tell us a
completely.
little bit about that.
It was
Steve, if you
surreal. It was amazing. The whole day was amazing, and the venue was incredible. I think it's about 18,000. And then, of course, you've got it felt like the whole record industry watching you. You know, I mean, we went out. I mean, I was worried about my nerves actually, but I went out. I was fine. Yeah, just incredible. I'm just trying to. The show went great. We'd done a lot of shows together. You know, the old band and the new band. So you know, we did the Odyssey tour. So we were used to working together. And me and Hugh we would do She's Not There together as two drummers, and then it would be like a drum solo. I'd take a bit of a solo, he'd take a solo. So we'd kind of done that. So it felt like we'd rehearsed that. But it was oh my God, what an event! Stevie Nicks opened the show. It was just incredible, actually. Def Leppard were on; they were on after us. Janet Jackson was there. it was just crazy. It was a mad week, actually, the build up as well. We're all in this hotel and there was various parties going on, different nights. You know, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And then it just flew by. But it was, I thought it went great, actually. I thought it sounded good.
I mean, you must have been super duper nervous.
Yeah, I was probably the day or two before, but only just before we went on, I was walking around backstage and I think they'd done this thing about Dad was talked about, and it was almost like Dad was there with me a little bit, and I'm like, right, come on, I'm going to really nail this for Dad. Is that kind of feeling?
Oh,
You know how you pull yourself
yeah.
together sometimes. Right, I'm going to be, and I just went out there, and I was like, yeah, I felt strong, but looking down, and it's like, oh my God, there's Crowded House over there, there's Queen, there's there's Fleetwood Mac sat over there. No pressure. Bloody hell. So you do something like that and then you think, I can cope with anything now.
that's right. It was a long, a far cry from the Worcester Park pub club or the Boom Boom Club in Sutton, I guess, really.
Exactly, yeah. I suppose you build up to these things. I mean, with the band as well, we've done things like live TV, like Jimmy Fallon show and things like that, where you're literally going out live.
Yes.
You know, so that's a huge pressure. You do a couple of those and you start thinking, okay, I can handle that. You know, it's just gradual.
Any stories from those? I remember that's interesting. I'm thinking also maybe from Jim as well, because I mean, he's a pretty cool. He was a pretty cool customer, your dad. Cool, one of the coolest guys. He's just like, but so nice as well. We're going to talk about him a little bit later, but I would imagine that again, you looking up to him a little bit when you in those pressurized moments and thinking,
completely.
Yeah,
completely. No, he'd just know how to say the right thing. Don't worry about it. He just completely calm. He was just brilliant in the band anyway. He used to mentor the Zombies, didn't he, back in the day? Because he's Rod's older cousin. So he's always been that kind of figure, really. Still miss him. But I still talk to him actually. What would you do, Dad? In different situations. But he was great at things like that because he'd obviously done.
But hey, you are also great. You're a professional musician, and look what you have achieved in your life.
Yeah,
I mean, from seeing Bob Henrid and saying, "Okay, I want to be a drummer in a rock and roll band." I think Roger Taylor said this once. On one of his albums, there's a song, I'm a drummer in a rock and roll band. And you were a drummer in you are a drummer in a rock and roll band.
Well, dream came true.
Bringing things up to date is, you also played on the 2 Zombie albums released in 2011 and in 2014. So Breathe In, Breathe Out, and Still Got That Hunger.
Yeah.
Breathe In, Breathe Out first.
Yes.
There are 2 what a word. There are 2 Argent songs on it.
Right.
Shine On Sunshine and Christmas for the Free.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember? Yeah.
I do.
You were on that album, weren't you?
I know. Unbelievable. As you say, it was by the time we were making them albums, I really was feeling, oh my God, I'm really part of something. It's not just a live act or whatever. It's just, we're moving forward with new material. I'm really part of this band, we're starting to make some really good records. And that last album was great because that was the last one I did with Dad, obviously. And it went top 100 in America. So I feel like I can say me and Dad were
fantastic album. Fantastic album.
Yeah. And we cut it live as well, like the old fashioned way.
Really?
All in a room together. Yeah. Piano,
cool.
vocals, everything all went down together. They might have overdubbed some harmonies and things, but it's live. It's percussion maybe. So I was really proud of that. And I kind of pushed for that as well, actually, because we've done albums in different ways as well. I really wanted to do that. And the fact that I played with Dad professionally all those years with that band. I mean, as I say, I played with him since I was young, but not professionally like that. And while it was happening, I knew it was very special, I didn't take it for granted. And we were just like best mates on tour. We're always the first one down to the bar when we got to the hotel. The band would know who would be sat at the bar. It'd be Steve and Jim.
It was funny because on those early days, I used to follow you around follow the band around at venues, and then I'd get there early as well, and I'd think, where's the nearest pub to the and I'd guess and go in there, And hello, mate. How are you? Fancy a quick pint?
Yeah, that's it.
Lovely,
Yeah, yeah,
lovely. Great
Yeah.
days. Great days.
absolutely. Yeah, really, really, very special. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, here's the first of two questions. One's going to come up a little bit later when we're going to be talking about your dad, but still got that hunger. Great opening track there called "Moving On," which I absolutely, I still play all the time. I think it's an absolute corking track. But we're going to play, and we'll play that for you in a moment. But what we want to know is, at the beginning of that song, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want to know which of the Rodfords that is, because we're not quite sure.
okay, that was me.
It was you.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm moving on like a ship sailing windblown. Who can say where the rainbow may be found? Take my chance and I'll sail to tomorrow. April moon, can you tell me where I'm bound? I'm moving on from this place of confusion. It's goodbye to trouble I'm leaving behind. In my life, no more grief, no sorrow. Won't allow the darkness my life to define. I won't cry for the past, for I've refound my freedom at last. I won't shy from the strife. What doesn't kill me will fill me with life. And I'm moving on to my dreams of tomorrow. Thrilled to be wherever my soul may be bound. Who can tell where the journey may lead me? Who can say where the rainbow may be found? I won't cry for the past, for I've refound my freedom at last. I won't shy from the strife. What doesn't kill me will fill me with life. And I'm moving on to my dreams of tomorrow. Thrilled to be wherever my soul may be bound. Who can tell where the journey may lead me? Who can say where the
And actually, it's great having accounting on a record because they often cut them off, don't they?
Yes.
You know, it's just they cut it in. But one of the when we were making the As Far As I Can See album, obviously there's a lot of strings on that album, and I remember we'd cut all the tracks at Rod's studio, and obviously I did the countings, and then we did the strings at Air Studios, big Air Studios. So there's this big 20-odd piece orchestra, and they've all got their headphones on, and I went along to watch, and there's my little voice going 1, 2, 3, and then all these string players come in, and I got goosebumps. I thought I just counted in an orchestra. It was just a real nice moment.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's all these. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just a memory of that album.
That is pretty much rock and roll. This 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing often on my drum takes is there's usually a laugh at the end or something, which doesn't always get kept, but or a dig-a-guff or something like that, and there's usually a laugh from someone. So I love stuff like that.
It's really a spectacular album, and I mean, for us, it's great to see that the Zombies are still around. You know, after all these years. The story of the Zombies, I mean, we heard so cool stories from Chris White, didn't we, Ian?
Yeah,
we did.
That was
we did.
Pretty cool. And the Zombies are still around, you know?
Yeah,
I think this is something that, well, I don't want to sound it too awful, but this is really something the world needs, you know? That brings my world back in order after a long day or a stressful week. You know, listen to these classic musicians. They really learned how to play to an audience, and they really know exactly what does a song need. And we just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we've seen ABBA coming back.
Yeah, I heard. I've not heard it yet.
Exactly the same sound
Really?
they had in 1982.
Yeah.
40 years passed away, and with the Zombies, I do have the same feeling. You know, they still sound as they ever did.
Yeah, as vital as ever. Yeah,
and it's not a tribute act. You know, when you see, we go to theatres and you see, oh, who's on? You know, and it's somebody trying to be one, and it is. I'm not having a go at tribute acts, but this is the real deal. I remember taking somebody to see the Zombies again, probably in the early days, Steve, and a mate of mine who'd not been. I said, look, come and see the show. You're gonna, and he nudged me halfway through the show, and he said, "Do they do lots of covers, don't they?" Right? And I said to him, "Excuse me, they're not covers." I said, "Colin Blunstone sang 'I Don't Believe in Miracles.' You know, Rod Argent wrote, and Jim Rodford was on 'Hold Your Head Up,' you know, the original." So I was talking him through the songs, and it just totally blew him away. You know, what becomes of the brokenhearted? You know, Colin, you know, that you could just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
This isn't a tribute act. This is the real deal.
Yeah, I know. The music, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
I've got a great picture of Rod. We were rehearsing somewhere, and he was just making us writing out songs that might go into the set. And I said, "Show me that list, Rod." And I took a picture of him. And I just thought, it's like treasure. All of these amazing songs through the decades.
Yeah.
And I've got this picture of him, and I was just like, this is. No matter how good a musician you are, you're nothing without great songs and great music, are you? You know, you can be fantastic, but you're nothing without a song. So thank you, all you wonderful writers.
Well,
I get to play them, you know.
Well, on behalf of everybody listening to the show, thank you for keeping the music alive, and for Rod and Colin especially. But it's great. So on that leads us very nicely to the Zombies live stream. Will it come out as a DVD or a Blu-ray at some point, or will it just be a stream, Steve? Do you know at this point?
Would it be a DVD? I don't know. I don't know what they're planning. The sound in there is just amazing. We had about 30, 40 people. Two of my daughters, my mum, my sister, you know, a few fans, a lot of friends of the band. And it was great, actually.
Lovely.
I mean, talk about no pressure, you know, first gig after a year and a half, and it's been live streamed and recorded and filmed. But it was great, actually. We had a really good night, and it was just magical, actually.
So we've got some last questions to finish up with you now on before we're going to be moving in part 2 to talk about your dad.
Yeah.
Sven, do you want to ask they're fun questions, these, nothing to do with music whatsoever. Well, they might be, depending on your answers. Sven, do you want to
let's go
take those
for
forward?
let's go for the fun section. Steve, this is nothing against you, what I say now, but Ian and I will send you off to a desert island.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. You're a lovely guy, but for now, we have to send you off to a desert island. If you are allowed to take only one album with you, which album would it be?
Oh God, I think it's probably going to have to be Physical Graffiti, Led Zeppelin.
I know it's complicated. A good answer is
Good
always, I take one from Russ Ballard, or I take one
sorry,
of
yes.
Argent.
Oh, I don't know. It's impossible in a way, but I mean, that just shook my world completely when I heard that record when I was 14. So I'd obviously gone through my Argent, and I still love Argent and everything, but that was something else to me. And
Trampled Underfoot. What a track.
Free transmission, hot your ass flow. Mine, let me pump your gas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, and the drumming in that, the drumming in
I
that
mean,
is
it
just
was the drumming. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was drumming I'd never heard, and also the way they recorded him. I mean, they always did. Jimmy was obviously producer, and I just thought that they were the most exciting drums ever recorded. The sound they got on him, as well as his playing, you know. So that's why it still completely blows me away. That blows me away.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's why.
Okay. Is
I've
there
never
one
heard drumming
track
like
in?
it.
Is there one single that you'd like to take? One particular song that you'd like to take to a desert island? Not trampled underfoot. We're trying to sort of. We've just banned that one. If there's one track that you could take to the desert island, what would it be?
Oh my God, that's so hard, isn't it? One song, because there's all different reasons, right? You know, you love certain songs for the drumming, you love certain songs for. It's hard not to be Zeppelin, but I mean, there's so many. That's really difficult.
It is.
Yeah. Well, while you're thinking about that, we've got the last fun question, which is a dinner party question. So, having sent you off to your desert island and been really horrible and nasty to you, we're now going to give you a lavish dinner with you know, champagne, wine, etc., everything, and you're allowed to take 4 guests. All right. They can be living or not, but that you'd like to sit around that dinner table with. Who would they be?
I mean, I'll just put Hendrix, John Bonham, Ralph Waldo Emerson, that's the philosopher.
Wow.
And I can't think of another one. Someone like William James. I love my philosophy and all that. I don't know. My dad.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good call, because
your dad.
Exactly.
I'd love to have a dinner with my dad again. Oh my God. Yeah.
And so Bob Henrit said he'd like to take, you know, he'd like to see, he was coming up with all these people that we'd lost in the last year or two. Chaz Hodges and Peter Thorpe and people like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
again,
so that's a really lovely mix there, actually.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
So
okay.
Cool.
This is stuff I could have prepared, but
okay. Well, no, it's off the cuff. You see, it's okay. No, you've done. It's been lovely talking to you. I think we're going to probably bring to an end our part 1, which was Steve Rodford. Steve, thank you so much for answering our questions and being such a fun guest. And
pleasure. Thank you. It was all right.
And it was brilliant. And for those of you listening on the Voices of Russ Ballard, I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to be moving on to part 2, which will be out soon, won't it, Sven? Which is going to be talking about Jim Rodford and the book, and Steve telling some great stories. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me, Ian.
And from me, Sven.
And from me, Steve. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.